Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into a pretty wild idea from some popular source material today. The claim that you can actually use quantum physics to physically change your reality. Let's get right into it.
So, the whole thing starts with this massive, provocative question. Can your mind physically change the world around you? Can you actually attract opportunities, people, and specific outcomes just with your consciousness?
And it doesn't wait to give you a pretty bold answer. The claim is, this has nothing to do with hard work or even just positive thinking. Nope, the argument is that there's an actual, physical mechanism at work here, something that operates faster than light and connects your thoughts directly to the world. All right, so what is this mystery mechanism? Well, according to the source, it's a hidden power, one that's supposedly rooted in a concept from physics that's been misunderstood, and maybe even deliberately kept under wraps. Let's pull back the curtain on this.
The entire argument hinges on one big concept: quantum entanglement. You've probably heard of it, this spooky action at a distance where two particles are linked no matter how far apart they are. But here's the twist. The source claims this isn't just for tiny particles in a lab. It says your consciousness uses this exact mechanism all the time to create instant, unbreakable connections with everything around you.
Okay, that's a huge leap, right? From subatomic particles to us. So how on earth does the source connect this weird quantum thing to the human brain? It all comes down to thinking about our brains in a totally new way.
The core idea is this. Your brain isn't just a squishy computer running on chemicals and electricity. The source posits it's actually a quantum computer. It's supposedly processing millions of potential realities at once, and then collapsing all those possibilities down into the one single reality you experience moment to moment.
So here's how they say it works. Deep inside our neurons, we have these tiny structures called microtubules. The claim is that these little tubes are able to hold a quantum state, a quantum coherence. And that is what allows your focused thoughts to create actual, physical quantum connections that can literally entangle with people, things, and the outcomes you want in the real world.
And this is the key part. These aren't like regular signals that have to travel somewhere. The source makes it really clear. These quantum connections are totally different. They're instantaneous. There's no distance barrier. They're unbreakable. It's a direct line from your brain to, well, whatever you're focusing on.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds incredibly abstract, right? Well, the source material tries to bring it down to earth. It points to things it says are tangible, everyday examples of this whole mechanism in action.
The argument is that we actually feel this stuff all the time. We just don't know what it is. You know that weird feeling when you're thinking about someone, and then boom, they call you? The source says that's it. That's your brain making a quantum connection. Or what about a strong gut feeling that turns out to be spot on? That's reframed as your brain reading quantum info. It takes these common experiences and says, see, that's entanglement.
And to really drive the point home, to make it something you can't ignore, the source presents a super simple exercise, one that it claims lets you physically feel a quantum connection right now.
It's called the hand exercise. You just rub your hands together really fast for about 10 seconds, and then you slowly pull them apart. And the instruction is to pay really close attention to that feeling between your palms, that tingle or pressure or warmth. The source claims that's not just leftover heat. That feeling, it says, is a quantum field you've just created with entangled electrons.
So according to this framework, there are basically 3 levels to this game. Most of us are on level 1, unconscious random connections. Our focus is all over the place, and so is our life. Then some people get to level 2, conscious temporary connections. Maybe you do a quick visualization, and it works sometimes. But the goal, the real sweet spot, is level 3, conscious, sustained connections. That's where you supposedly get a consistent, predictable flow of the results you want.
Right, so how do you get there? How do you go from random luck to a sustained, conscious connection? Well, the source lays out 3 principles, 3 laws it calls them, for how to actually direct this quantum power on purpose.
And it's really important to get this next part. The source is very specific that these aren't supposed to be spiritual beliefs or some kind of mystical woo-woo. It frames them as direct applications of physics, just translated into practical steps your mind can follow.
Okay, so the 3 laws are a system. Law number 1 is coherence. This means your thoughts, your feelings, and what you want have to be all pointing in the same direction. No mixed signals. Law number 2 is frequency.
Your emotional state is like a radio frequency. You can only tune into, or entangle with, realities that are on the same emotional channel. And number 3 is observation. Your focused attention is the thing that actually collapses all the maybes and possibilities into the one single thing that actually happens.
And all of this, all these ideas and laws, it leads to the ultimate claim of the source material. It's about making a shift from being a passive passenger in your life to being the one who's actively selecting your reality.
Now here's a really key distinction the source makes. It says you aren't creating reality out of thin air. Instead, the idea is that all possible futures, all timelines already exist. They're all out there in a quantum haze. Your job isn't to create, your job is to select. Your consciousness is what chooses which one of those pre-existing timelines you're going to experience.
And that's the whole point, right? It's a massive shift in perspective. You're not just in the audience watching the movie of your life unfold. According to this model, you are a participant. Your focused, entangled observation is what turns what could be into what is. You're literally part of the process.
Which really brings us to the final and maybe most important takeaway. The source material basically leaves you with this one powerful question. If your focus, your consciousness, is truly the tool that picks your reality out of an infinite menu of possibilities, then the only question that matters is, what are you choosing to observe? What are you choosing to entangle with?